What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jamal back with another embroidery video, embroidery tutorial, machine tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to thread the 12 needle Voyager HappyJapan machine. We're going to get real close and personal with it. I'm going to show you guys how to run your threads through your thread guides, through your tensioners and stuff like that. So make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell, and every time I upload a new video, you get a notification, alright? So the needles that I'm going to be threading today, I'm going to be threading needle number 1, and I'm also going to be threading needle number 6, because there's a certain way you have to go through the thread holder up here with the rectifiers and stuff like that, and the thread guides to show you guys how to get it in there smoothly and not get thread breaks when you're embroidering your customer's design and stuff like that. So we're gonna get up close. We're gonna pull the camera over. Already got the threads broken. There's no thread going through needle number 1. There's no thread going through needle number 6. I'm also gonna show you how to tie off, make one knot, and pull it all the way through from here all the way down through the needle. Alright, so it's going to show you that, and I'm also going to show you where you place your bobbin thread on the thread holder so you can rewind your bobbin. I'm going to show you how to do that also. Alright, so we're going to get to it, bring you close to the machine, and we're going to get started. Let's go. Alright, everybody, we're about to start on our first needle, which is needle number 1, which I have white embroidery thread sitting right there. The first thing you want to do is you want to take your thread, and you want to come from the outside of the thread guide. Okay, this is the thread guide right here. You want to come in from the outside. Okay, if you come in from this way, you're gonna have problems. So bring your thread up from the outside of the thread guide and bring it in. Alright, like that. Grab it. I'm going to bring it in like that, and you want to pull it through. Alright, y'all see that? Make sure you come from the outside into the thread guide. Alright? Alright, our next step is we're going to bring our thread, and we're going to go through the rectifier. These are what they call upper rectifiers. We're going to bring our thread, and there's a lip right here. I'm going to try to zoom in so y'all can see it. See if I can zoom in. Alright. See if I can zoom in without it being too blurry. Okay. Now, when you bring your thread through the thread guide from the outside, there's a lip right here. Your thread has to go under this lip, and it has to make like a little loop in there, and then come around this little this corner right here. So you're gonna take your thread, do that, put it under that lip. You see how it raises up? Put it under that lip, go just like that. Alright, bring it all the way back, and then these slots right here. Each side has a slot. So when you bring it through that slot, then you have it correct. Alright? If you don't have it going under here and then bringing it through that slot, you're going to have tension problems, and you may have thread breaks also. Alright? So first thing we did was we bring our thread up through the thread guide from the outside, and then we bring it through the upper rectifier. That's what they call it, rectifier. Okay? Next step we're going to do, we're going to bring our thread, and let me move the camera a little bit to the front so y'all can see. You may be able to see better if the camera is in the front. Let's see. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Alright, next step you're going to do is you're going to bring your thread. There's a hole right here. This is your one of your tensioners right there. What they call it, thread tension knob. There's a hole right here, okay? Make sure your thread goes inside this hole. Alright, so we're going to push it through. And make sure you give yourself some slack, alright? Now, there are arrows right here, if you can see them. Hopefully the light is not too bright. Let me turn the light down just a little bit so you can see. Alright, there's an arrow right here showing you which way to go. So you want to come around this way and make sure your thread is behind this little part right here. You see how it pushes up? You want to make sure your thread is going behind that. So you're going to bring it around. Bring it around, and we're going to put our thread in there like so. And you can push up on it like that so you can get the thread through. You push up on it like that. Let me get my tweezers. It's better. I got real fat fingers, so I have no control of things. I'm going to put it inside of there. It has to go, everyone. It has to go behind this part right here. If it don't go behind there, you're going to have problems. You're going to have thread breaks and you're going to have tension problems, okay? So that's your tensioner that it has to go inside. See, it came out, so I got to put it back in there. Just put it right back in there. That's what I get for having fat fingers. Alright, push that in there. And the arrow is telling you which way to go, okay? You want to make sure this closes, goes up against your thread right there. So your arrow is telling you to go down this way. And you're going to bring this around this little knob right here. You see that knob? You're going to bring it right around that knob. And then you're going to go under the knob. And you're going to run it against your thread break sensor. This is your thread break sensor. When your thread breaks, when your machine is running, this wheel right here is turning. Okay? This wheel right here is turning. If this wheel stops turning while your machine is running, you have a thread break, and it'll tell you right here on your screen that you have a thread break. So you're going to run it over this pole, over this little pole right here, under the pole, onto your thread break sensor. This is your thread break sensor right there, alright? I'm going to adjust that camera a little bit. You're going to run it under your thread break sensor, and there's another pole. You're going to run it over that pole, and then you're going to come down, and you're going to go around this once, okay? This is your second tensioner. You're going to come down and you're going to go around it one time. You can see the arrow right there. Let me push the camera over so you can try to see that arrow. It's showing you exactly what to do. Alright? I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me block some of that light out. But there's an arrow right there telling you to come around and go back up. Okay? So we're going to do that. Around. And make sure it's inside of this part right there. If it's not inside there, it's wrong. So we're going to come around. And you can pull it up a little bit. It's so easier for me to do this with the tweezers. It's not good to have fat, shaky hands. So you put that in there like that, and you're gonna come around. Alright? You see how everything is spinning? When I do it, when I do that. So you're going through this tensioner, thread break sensor, and your second tensioner. Now when you come around, you're gonna go to step number 5. It has a label. Step number 5. You're going to put this inside your thread guide. This is a thread guide. It's holding it in place. Okay, make sure that goes inside that thread guide right there. All right. Then you're gonna go down to your other thread guide, which is number 6. It's labeled for you. You're gonna stick this inside your thread guide. You can use some tweezers if your fingers, you got fingers like me, or you got shaky hands, use your tweezers. They help out a great deal. Okay, so you're gonna bring it through this thread guide right here, and this is what they call right here another rectifier. All right, so you want to get this. If you push that like that, it's gonna raise up. There's a slot right here inside this this rectifier. So let me get you on that part just a little bit more. If you can see the thread, that's a little slot right there. When you push it up, it's a little slot on the actual red thread rectifier. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that lands on top of the thread. Alright? You want to make sure your thread is in between that little slot right there on your thread rectifier. Alright? Alright, so now we're going to be moving down, and we're going to move down to the what they call a thread guide plate, which is this part right here. This is your thread guide plate. Alright, every thread is going to go through 3 holes on this thread guide plate. You have a hole here, which is the first hole it's going to go through. It's going to come back up, then it's going to go through the what they call that thing, a spring adjustment, some type of spring. Okay, so you're going to go through your first hole through the spring, up through the second hole, then you're going to come up here, and then you're going to go down into that third hole back there. Every thread has to do that. Every last thread on your machine has to go through these 3 holes right there, then up, then through that last hole. Alright, we almost finished. We're halfway through. Alright, so we're going to run our thread through this plate. Bring it down, and I'm going to use my tweezers so my fat fingers don't be in the way. Alright, let me bring the camera down. Bring the camera down a little bit so you can see that other little metal spring right here. They call this a spring because it goes up and down. Alright, so you're going to run your thread. Once you go through that first hole on that plate, you're going to bring it through the spring. And I'm going to grab it with my tweezers because my fingers are fat. Alright, so get you some tweezers. It makes this way easier if you have something that you, because it's a confined space for your fingers. So you might want to get you a little tool where you can grab stuff. Okay, so now you're going to take this. We went through the spring. We're going to go back up through the plate. Make it long enough so we can grab it. And it's going to be the second hole next to the first hole that you run your cable through. Bring it up through there, you're going to grab it. Alright, so now you're going through the plate, you're going through the spring. As you see, when I pull on the cable, on the thread, it's going up and down. That's the spring. Now we're going to go up. And we're going to bring it through what they call a take-up lever. This is what they call a take-up lever for the machine. We're going to bring it through this hole right here. Y'all see that hole right there? It has to go through there. We're coming down, first hole, spring, up through the second hole. Now we're going through the take-up lever. Put it in there just like that. And grab it with my tweezers, and we're going to bring it back down. So now We went through the plate. We went through the spring. We went up. Now we're going inside the take-up lever. And now we're going into that last hole on the plate. Okay? That last hole all the way in the back. That's the last hole. Once you bring it through the take-up lever. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit so you can see everything. Alright? Once you go back up through the take-up lever, there's another hole right there. That last hole. Each thread has to do that. Each one of them. Each one of them has these 3 holes that it has to do that to. So we're going to take our thread, and I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm going to push it through that last hole. And then I'll grab it at the bottom. Once you bring it through, you can grab it and pull it through. Alright? Now, when you pull your thread, it should be going through this tensioner. Your thread break sensor should be moving when you pull a thread. That's moving. This tensioner, this wheel on this tensioner back here should also be moving when you pull your thread through. That's moving. Then it comes down through here, through the plate, the first hole in the plate. Comes through that first hole in the plate, goes through that spring, comes up through the second hole, through the upper lever, the pull lever, and then goes through the third hole, okay? So now, our next step is, and I'm going to bring the camera in so y'all can see it. Next step is, I told y'all we was going to get real close. We was going to get real close so y'all can see. I need y'all to see everything, alright? So, number 1, that's a number 1 right there. You're going to stick your thread through that first hole right there, because this is needle number 1. This is taking you straight to needle number 1 right here, alright? So, we're going to take our thread and we're going to push it down through there, alright? And it should come out at the bottom. Alright, y'all see that hole right there? It has to go through that hole. Don't take your thread and come around this metal part. You're going to have thread breaks or you're going to have tension problems. It goes through that hole down there. And you have 12 holes. 4, 8, 12, alright? So, push your thread down through that first hole, and we're going to come and show you where it come out at. Let's bring the camera down. I'm going to show you where it come out at. I told you I was going to be close. You're going to be able to see everything. I told you I was going to be close, real close to it. Alright? So these, when it comes out that hole, it's going to come out right here. This is the thread right here. Alright? It's going to put it all the way through. And then, this is needle number 1. Let me see if I turn this ISO down so y'all can see a little better. I'm going to turn the ISO down. Alright? See if y'all can see that. It's needle number 1. See needle number 1. Now, before we get any further, we're going to stick our thread through the hole of needle number 1. Alright, so let's get the thread through. And then I'll show y'all the next step after that. Get this thread through there. I might have to cut it because it's kind of has a rough end. If it has a rough end, it's not going to go through. So cut it, make the end new, and push it right through. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I just pushed it right through the needle. So you're going to grab it. Now your thread is inside the needle. Alright? Your thread is inside the needle. Now, before you're not finished yet because you got one more step. Alright? Maybe 2 more steps. Now you have to take your thread and put it inside this little loop that's around the needle. So let me try to zoom in so y'all can see that. I don't know if it's gonna catch it because of that light right there. But let me see. Let me see y'all. Hold up. Alright. There's a loop right there. You want to take your thread, bring it over to the side, put it in that loop, and it should be inside this little hole, that little loop right there. Alright, so now that you have that in there, you bring it up to right here, and this is where it holds your thread at. This little part right here, the little springs, you bring your thread up. Zoom out a little bit so you can get a little clear picture. And you put your thread inside there, alright? And you can clip some of this excess off. And that's how you thread your HappyJapan 12 meter Voyager, alright? That's needle number 1. You just threaded needle number 1, y'all. Alright? So, we're going to do thread number 6, because it starts from the back. And I want y'all to see how to thread this machine from the last needle point, alright? So, let's move the camera over. Y'all, we're going to be doing needle number 6. We're going to do the last needle. I showed y'all how to do from needle number 1. Now we're going to do needle number 6 because it's coming from the back. So y'all need to see how it goes up through the thread guides all the way to the front part of a rectifier. From the back through the thread guides all the way from the back through the rectifiers. The same way you did. Once you get here, it's just like you did needle number 1, okay? Now I'm just showing you how to bring the thread from the back up through the thread guides from the back on up to the front of this first rectifier. And then once you get to this point, it's just like you did with needle number 1. Alright? Alright, so let me show you that. So hopefully y'all can see. And I'm going to try to, it's not a lot of room. I got my camera right there and I don't want to bump it. If I bump it, it's going to knock the whole camera down. Alright, so, alright, we're going to do needle number 6. So, remember, no matter what side you're on, make sure when you go through the upper the thread guides, you want to come from the outside in. Okay? You're coming from the outside in. If y'all can see my hand. I don't know if y'all can see my hand. Let me adjust the camera. You're going to come from the outside in, y'all. Alright? Needle number 6. Outside into the thread guide. Bring your thread through. There's another thread guide for the needle number 6. It's this one right here. It's a thread guide right there. This thread guide is not for needle number 5. This thread guide is for needle number 6. This one right here. So you bring your thread through that thread guide right there. And then you're going to bring it through the last thread guide up here in the front. So you're going to go for needle number 6. You're going to go through this thread guide right here, this thread guide right here, and then that last thread guide in this row, which is number 4, the 4th thread guide. You're going to go through there. Hope y'all can see it. And once you get it through that thread guide, drop it. You're going to get it through this last thread guide right there. Once you get it through that thread guide, you're going to bring it up. You're going to bring it up to your rectifier. You're going to bring it up to your 6th rectifier. So let me move the camera over so y'all can see. Y'all see it? Y'all can see everything. Good. Alright. So this is 1. We're doing needle number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright? Remember, you have to bring it through that rectifier. And you have to do it a certain way, or it's going to be wrong. If you don't do it the correct way, you're going to have problems. So, you're going to take your thread, and you're going to bring it under this lip right here. That's a lip. That lip needs to raise up like that. Y'all see it? See how it's raising up? Alright? And then, you bring it under like that. Alright? That's how it goes. That's how you have to do it. That's the correct way to do it. If you do it any other way, it's wrong. Alright? So, once we do that part, we're going to go down. Let me fix my camera. Let me fix my camera. Gonna go down, and we're gonna go in the hole for your first tension setting. All right. So you're gonna take your thread. You're gonna bring it through that hole right there. All right. Once you bring it through that hole, and like I said, you have some tweezers. It'll make it way better. All right. Let me adjust my camera right quick. All right, y'all can see. Think y'all can see. All right. Grab my tweezers. I'm gonna bring it through that hole. Y'all see? It's going through this little hole. It has to go through that hole right there. And the same way, if you now the rest of these, only number 1 and number 12 have arrows. So if you forgot, if you're doing it and you can't remember, just look at number 1. It has the arrow showing you what to do. So you're gonna bring it, and you can pull this out. Bring your thread through there, and use your something so it'll help you guide it. All right. Bring it around that pole right there. Once you bring it around that pole, you're gonna bring it around your thread sensor. All right. So you bring it around your thread sensor, and then you bring it around this second pole. When you bring it around that second pole right there, you're gonna make a loop, just one loop. All right. Make that loop, and this is how you know you got it right. Pull it. Your thread sensor should be turning, and this part right here should be turning. All right. So bring it around one time, not two. One time. Make sure it's inside that plate. Right. Bring it around. We got it. All right. So we bring it around. So now we're gonna put it inside our thread guide. Push the camera over. All right. Push the camera over. This is your thread guide. Once you make that loop around, make that loop around right here. Put it in your thread guide. Always try to get some tweezers or something. It makes it way easier. Once it's inside your thread guide, you have another thread guide to put it in. This thread guide coming straight down. See it? It's right there. From this thread guide to that thread guide. You want to stick it in there. Alright, it's in there. Alright, y'all see that? So now we're gonna, remember I said about the rectifiers? If you push on one side, it'll pop up. You push on that side, it'll pop up, and then you don't have to push on that side, but you can just slide it in there. Alright? Slides right through the side, okay? And make sure there's a little gap on your rectifier. Your thread has to be inside that gap, alright? So you pull it down, and we're going down to the board. Alright? So let's give ourselves a little bit of slack. Alright, let's recap just in case, because I didn't know my camera stopped recording. So we're going to recap. Alright? Sorry about that. We're going to recap, because I don't know where it cut off at. Alright? So, came through the thread guide. Came through the first tension. This is our thread break sensor right there. This is our second tension. You go make a loop around, alright? So, when you pull that thread break sensor, and this part should be going around like that. Then, we go down through our thread guides right here. And then we come down to the plate. There's 3 holes in this plate that you have to go through. Go through that first hole right there, and then you're gonna go to the spring. Now when I pull on it, you see the spring going up and down. Spring is right there. Then you're gonna run your thread through the spring, come up through the second hole, come up to here. Run it through that hole, then go down into that last hole on that plate, alright? Make sure you don't mix your holes up, because they're close together. Once you come down through that last hole, you got some more holes down there, alright? We're doing needle number 6. There's a number 6 right here. You're going to bring your thread through that hole that's right above, that's right below the number 6. Alright, so let's do that right quick. Once you stick it through that hole right there, it should come down. Let me bring my camera down. Just like needle number 1. It's like needle number 1. You're gonna grab it right here. It's right here. Hopefully I can see. Gotta push it back some. Alright, there you go. This your thread right here. You're gonna pull it down. And the first thing you want to do after you do that, you want to stick your thread inside the needle. You want to thread the needle first. So let's thread that needle. Once you thread your needle, pull that down some more. It has to go through this ring right here, everybody. Don't forget to put your thread inside that ring. Just to the side like that. Come right here. And once you do that, you bring your thread up to here and you're done. So we threaded needle number 1. We threaded needle number 6. Alright? So now what I'm gonna show y'all, and put the camera on me. Let me give me some time in the camera. Alright, y'all, what we just did was we threaded needle number 1 and we thread needle number 6. Now what I want to show y'all how to do is tie that one knot into your with your threads. And in case you want to do a thread change, you got to do a thread change, and you don't want to thread it like that. I'm going to show you how. We're just going to take the same color that's already there, because I think I'm going to need these colors. And I'm going to show y'all how to tie off and pull it all the way through the needle, alright? So, you can pull it all the way through the needle. You just got to take your time. Once you get to the needle, you can't try to yank it through there. You just got to kind of wiggle it through and it'll come right through. Alright, so I'm going to show y'all that right quick. Let me bring this up. I hope y'all like the video. If you like what you see so far, if you're learning how to thread the machine, if you plan on getting one of these machines, I hope you find this video very informative. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And yeah. So I'm gonna cut it right here, because this usually when I have to change colors, I usually cut right there. All right. So I'll bring y'all a little closer so y'all can see. Alright, let's say this is your new thread coming through. Alright. You take both of your threads, just like that. Make them nice and even. You put them together. And you make one loop. You take it like that. Bring it around your finger. And you make one loop. Get the ends inside the loop, alright? You're going to get the ends inside the loop. Once you get the ends inside the loop, you pull it tight. Alright? I think I did that wrong. Let me see. That don't look right. No, it's not right. Oh yeah, it is. It's right. Sorry, y'all. I just pulled it wrong. Okay? So, I'm going to show y'all that part again. You don't want to do double knots, but I'm going to show y'all again. Put it like that. Once you have your hole right there, you see that loop, you put your end inside the hole, and then you tie it tight. And you'll have a nice, small, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's a nice little small knot right there. Alright? You don't want no big knot. If you have a big knot, it's not going to go all the way through. You want a small knot. So, once you do that, you're going to come down. And I want y'all to see everything. Y'all should be able to see it coming all the way through the machine and everything. So, let's see. You're going to pull it. Alright, so you're going to take your thread and you want to keep it straight up here. Let me back up. I need y'all to see. Alright, so I'm going to start up here. Make sure you keep your thread straight up here so you don't get it all crossed up in between all these areas right there. So you're going to start pulling it down. And you see right here, that's where your knot is at. You're going to pull it down, you're going to see it travel all the way through. You're going to see it traveling. You see it traveling? I'm putting it slow so y'all can see. So now, I'm going to bring the camera angle down. And you can see where my knot is at right there. You see it? So you're going to push it, bring it down, pull it some more. It's going to follow the path that you already made. Right? Bring that back down. It's going to go. It's still going. It's going to go through that hole at the bottom. So now we're down to the needle. So let me go down to that part so y'all can see. I want y'all to see everything. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Alright. This is the needle we going through. The knot is right there. You see that knot right there? Pull it through there gently, alright? Now we at the needle hole. Alright? Don't just try to yank it through. You try to yank it through, it's going to pop. And then you're going to have to wind up, just pushing it through. So, you just want to kind of wiggle it through. Just a little bit. It's going to go in there. Oh, it popped on me. Man, it will pop on me. Alright, y'all. It popped on me. So, if it pop on you, just cut it and put it in there by hand. It will pop on me when I'm doing the video. That's how it always goes. Pop on you when you're doing the video. But usually I get them right through, all the way through the needle. I get them all the way through the needle. But when you get down to the needle, just take your time and put it through, and it should go right through. But I guess for video's sake, it wanted to mess up for me. Alright, so now, after you do that, you can trim this off. You trim it off the bottom right there. Close this, so we don't get no mistakes, alright? Alright, that's how you thread your machine. Alright, so I showed you how to thread needle number 1, needle number 6, and I also showed you how to tie off so you can run it all the way through so you won't have to do that process. Now, we're going to go over to the back of the machine. This last slot back here on your thread holder doesn't have a number on here. This is where you put your bobbin thread at, alright? This is where you put your bobbin thread at. You want to make more bobbin thread, this is where you put it at. So when you put it on here, always from the outside, not the inside, because the bobbin thread winder is on this side of the machine. Your bobbin thread winder is right here on this side of the machine. I already got a full bobbin thread wind up, but I'll take up another empty bobbin that don't fit in this machine and wind it up on there so y'all can see it wind up. Alright, so just like on the threads right here, you come from the outside in, and then you come over this way. You come down. You don't have to run it through anything else. You just come from the outside, from over this way. And what you're going to do is, let me see if y'all can see that. When you come over, there's a little hole right there. You want to run your bobbin thread through there. Alright. And then you're going to run your bobbin thread over here. Make sure y'all that. You want to run your bobbin thread through here. Alright. Put it through the hole right there. Same way. It's a tensioner knob. Bring it through there. You put it out like that. And then you put your empty bobbin on there. So I'm gonna put this bobbin on here and wind this bobbin. Hopefully it'll work. So you put your bobbin on there, you wind it up a couple of times. This latch right here, you bring it down. There you go. You're gonna wind your bobbin thread. Y'all see that? And when it's finished winding the bobbin thread, it's gonna stop on its own. Alright? When it gets to a certain point, it stops on its own, pops all the way up. You cut your bobbin thread, you pull it off, and when you're ready, you leave all this hooked up. There's no reason to take it or loose or anything. That bobbin thread that's back here, leave it there. That's the slot to rewind your bobbin threads, everybody. So you don't have to change it unless you're gonna be changing it to a black bobbin thread or some type of different color bobbin thread. But you can leave it here, and even while you're running the machine, while you're doing a job, you can make your bobbin thread even while you're doing a job on the machine. You don't have to wait till it's finished to do your bobbin thread, okay? So that's the end of the video, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see. If you learned anything, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna have more videos on this machine showing you some of the features on the HappyJapan 12 needle Voyager machine. So far I've had the machine for almost 2 weeks and I've had no issues with it. Runs like a champ. You know, you get a thread break every once in a here and there or whatever that happens. Slow the speed down on the machine because I'll be running it kind of at 850, 900. It's fast. Like it keeps its speed, y'all. So other than that, that's the end of the video. Like I said, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell for me, please, so when I upload a new video, you get to watch the new video. And yeah, HappyJapan 12 needle Voyager, y'all. It's a great machine. It's a beast. You can work it all day long, 24/7. All right, that's what they said. This machine can work 24/7, 7 days a week. Right? Alright, so thanks for watching the video. And y'all know how I do it. I'm out of this thing. Peace.